Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the VST Tillers Tractors Limited fourth quarter FY23 post-result conference call hosted by Batlivala & Karani Securities India Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Annamalai Jayaraj from Batlivala & Karani Securities India Private Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
VST Tillers Tractors Limited 4Q FY23 post-result conference call. From the management side, we have with us today Mr. V.T. Ravindra, Managing Director, Mr. Anthony Sarkara, Chief Executive Officer, and Mr. Nitin Agarwal, Chief Financial Officer. I will now hand over the call to the management for the opening remarks to be followed by the question and answer session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and this is Anthony Sarkara, CEO of VST Tillers Tractors Limited. Very happy to be with all of you to share the results of Q4 FY23 and the annual results for FY23. With me is Mr. Nitin Agarwal, who is the new CFO, and MD, Mr. V.T. Ravindra. Now I hand over this to Mr. Nitin Agarwal to take you through the results. And for your information, the presentation is also loaded at the websites of both the exchanges. So over to Nitin, please.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Nitin Agarwal here, and I welcome you all on this call. I also request you to go to the BSE website and check the presentation which we have uploaded there as an investor presentation. I'll first talk about the volumes for this quarter. Yeah, so in the Q4 power tiller we have done 12,008. Yeah, in terms of volume in power tiller we have done in the quarter 12,813 power tillers as compared to 9,282 in same quarter last year. In tractor business, volume are 1,963 for the current quarter. Corresponding number for last year was 1,575. Power. Yeah. I'll now talk about the annual number. In power tiller, it is first time when we received the highest number of sales, which is 38,247 numbers, and in case of tractors, it is 6,875. I now move on to the financial performance for the full year, and I'm very happy to mention this to all the people on the call that it is first time when we crossed the milestone of 1,000 crore of revenue. Our revenue for this year is 1,000 crore 6. 1,006. 0.75. EBITDA number in terms of rupees crore is 152 crore. PBT of 123.95 crore and PAT of 92.37. On a quarter-to-quarter basis, this quarter our revenue is 322 crore with an EBITDA percentage of 18.23. Yeah. With that, I now open for questions.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touch-tone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. A reminder to all participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Our first question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor & Co. Please go ahead.
Namaskar, Sirji, and thank you for this opportunity and congratulations to the team. I think so. The PBT numbers are the highest, maybe in my, as per my memory, a 50 crore PBT number would be the highest in the near future. So, if you could elaborate more on the factors that led to these numbers and also some color on things that are shaping up, because we hardly got any time to go through your numbers. They have been just being uploaded at the exchanges and the call was delayed for 5 minutes. So if you could give us some more color on how things are shaping up, some more color on how well are we prepared for the 3,000 crore revenue top line, and then I will continue with my follow-up question.
Yeah, thank you, Saketji. This is Anthony again. So definitely the result on the bottom line is definitely an effect of the top line growth, which is at 1,006.43 crores, and the top line definitely has helped us to increase the bottom line. Apart from this, there is definitely a cooling down of material cost compared to Q1 of the financial year. So towards Q4, definitely there has been cooling off on the material cost. And thirdly, you would see that the power tiller business we have been able to accelerate. The small farm mechanization business we have been able to accelerate, and which has grown almost 29%. And tractor has almost been flat, but with the new products that we have launched in Q4, that also looks positive going forward in the year. The distribution business also has crossed the milestone of 100 crores, which 3-4 years back was at about 40 crores. Now it has crossed this milestone of 100 crores. These are some of the key achievements. Now coming to our achieving of the vision of 3,000 crores by 2026 is what I said in the last call, considering that we lost some time in terms of the project delays that happened during COVID. So we would be achieving the 2026 projects. Multiple projects have been in place. The VST Zitor joint venture will come into revenue mode this year. The Monarch supplies that we have started is already onto the ramp-up mode. And secondly, the strategic directions that we have taken in terms of becoming a small farm mechanization company, our movement into the international market, all these are fructifying. So that should enable us to get to our 3,000 crore mark by 2026.
So for this year, what should we looking, sir? I think so now with the softening of the raw material prices, what should be our margin trajectory be? And for the introduction of new products and as been articulated by you, what should we look forward as a ballpark number for this year in terms of the increase in the top line? If you could comment on the same.
Yeah, we are definitely looking at exponential growth on top line. I can't give out a specific number at this point in time, but definitely we want to be. The last 3 years we have grown at almost 20% CAGR. We expect to accelerate further on that in the next 3 years to get to that 3,000 crore. So definitely we have to grow at about 30% plus basis year on year. So that is the kind of acceleration that we are looking at. And coming to the margin, I have already given you a guidance of 11% to 13%. this year. That is considering that we will be investing a lot into getting into new markets and product development.
Correct. And sir, earlier also I think so you did spoke about our the land we have at Bangalore, and any update on the land parcel which we can expect for this year?
No update on that at the moment. The decision is not taken. No decision is taken at the moment. And as soon as, like I said before, as soon as that is done, that we will be informing.
Okay. And on our Mysore unit, I think so that precision unit where we have invested a lot and we were about to integrate the same with our operations. So what's the update on the same, and how have we performed on the spare parts business for this quarter and for this year?
Yeah. So first, let me talk about Mysore. The Mysore business, the Mysore Precision Component plant has been supporting the company in terms of especially the machining of the 5C components, which is the the crankshaft, cylinder head, cylinder block. So that is what is causing us to scale up our volumes. If you see, our power tiller business has moved from roughly about 19,000 3 years back. Now we are at about close to 40,000 tillers. Now this ramp up has been made possible. One of the key steps has been what Precision component division has been doing out of Mysore. Also in terms of new product development, our ability to bring new products, not only internal products, but also make supplies to companies like Monarch out in the US. Our ability to meet tolerances of an electric autonomous tractor. All these has happened because of our work that we do in Precision Component Division in Mysore. And coming to the distribution business, I shared with you, it is the spare part business. We call it as distribution business. It has crossed the 100 crore mark for the first time ever, and it is set to grow. Previously, I have shared with you, we launched the electric pump in UP and Bihar, which is now being scaled up to another 6 states this year. And this is a totally digitalized business that we are building. And over a period of time, we would like to build this business into a distribution powerhouse for the rural market.
So on the pump business which you have just mentioned, what's our objective? So it is only penetrating the market, and why have we selected the electric pump as a segment?
We are starting with electric pump, and there is a huge potential for electric pump. We are starting with electric pump, but as you rightly kind of mentioned, the idea is to penetrate rural market through very efficient distribution using TOC and digitalization.
So, but this is a trading product only, sir. We are not into manufacturing.
We are going to do only trading in this business, in this particular business.
Okay, but the spare part business is on the manufactured item that we are going through, and
yes,
the
spares is definitely the traditional business that we have, that will continue to grow as the volume picks up.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Saket Kapoor. May we request that you return to the question queue for follow-up questions, as there are several participants waiting their turn. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we move to the next question. But before we take the next question, a reminder to all participants that you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Our next question is from the line of Arjun Khanna from Kotak Mahindra Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Thank you for taking my question, and congratulations on a great set of numbers. In terms of our margin guidance, that 11 to 13%, obviously this is related to startup costs, etc., for new units and the trading business increasing in size. Just wanted a sense in terms of the Zetor tractors. Do we have a sense, or us as investors, how do we understand if this launch has been a success? So given our volumes of tractors, what kind of numbers, say for next year, one would assume that probably the product is a success?
Yeah, in the next 3 to 4 years, you will see a major share of our business in the higher horsepower segment coming from the VST Zetor business. So this is our real foray into the higher HP segment. We tested those waters with our in-house product, and then that is also there, and that will continue to occupy the position of a value product, and the VST retail products will compete with the multinational products that is in the market, that is the premium positioning products. Now this launch will be happening towards the end of Q1 and early Q2. That is what our plan is, to launch these products in the market. And we have definitive volume plans, but the more critical aspect is to establish these products with the value proposition that we have thought for these products, which is of high power, high fuel efficiency, and in terms of the additional features we are giving in terms of the premium product.
So just to get a clarity, this is not on the compact segment, this is the full-sized tractor.
This is the full-size utility tractors, basically. This is the utility tractor segment. Yeah.
Right. So we would be competing in that roughly 6+ lakh market now.
Actually 8+ lakh market.
Right. Okay. So we would be looking at exports also?
Yeah, totally. So we'll be looking at everything. I mean, exports possibly. This initial phase of products will be followed by four-wheel drive products as well. So we will be exporting to some of the African markets as well.
Sure. And for a success, maybe 3 years, 4 years down the line, would our milestone be 5% market share, 10% market share? What would our thought process be?
We are not looking at market share. So like I have said this before, the whole aspect is about capacity utilization. We have a plant which we can produce about 30,000 tractors. We are producing only around 8 to 10,000 tractors year on year. And plus the electric supplies and the component supplies and all that we have started. So the focus clearly is capacity utilization. So the first milestone will be to get to 30,000 tractors, including compact and higher horsepower.
Sure. From our FY23 volume of roughly 6,900.
Yeah. There is no higher SP in that, hardly any higher horsepower in that.
Perfect. Yeah. Well understood, sir. So the second question is on our power weeder segment. We had anticipated very strong growth in this segment. If I look at volumes as put in a presentation, thank you for that. Volumes are up from 2,000 units to roughly 3,400 units. One was expecting a more exponential growth.
This is only the second year. So you will see massive growth coming in the next 2 to 3 years. Because this segment, unlike the dealership that we use for coverage, this is kind of a near store procurement that the customer does. He goes to the nearest store near his house and buys the machine, the small machine. So now we are developing that network, and you will see, like, this is the second year for us. So 3,400 has come in the second year. So you can expect these volumes to jump in the next 2-3 years.
Could you care to give us a sense of what kind of numbers are we talking about?
It should be 10,000-15,000 plus in the next 2 years.
Okay, perfect. Sure. My last question is, if we look at a balance sheet, we see a deterioration in the receivables. It's shot up considerably on a year-on-year level. I understand the March quarter had extremely strong volumes. Is that the reason for this receivables moving up, or is there something else that we need to know?
Now, I will explain a bit. From about 29 days the previous financial year, it has moved up to about 54 days of receivable. Out of that receivables, roughly about 20 days is basically the subsidy release or some of the volumes that came from the government orders in the month of March. So the payment is getting realized in the month of April and May. So that is why you see a jump. But if you remove that aspect and see, it has moved only from 29 days to 33 days.
Sure. And if I understood you correctly, sir, we would have received part of that in the month of April?
Yes, you're right.
Sure. So when we see the 6 monthly number, aside any aberration, we should go back to our long-term historical receivables.
We should be around 40-45 days. I don't intend to take it down to 29 days.
Okay, sure. That's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Murli Reddy from Anand Rathi. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good evening. So our profit is 40 crores this financial FY23 quarter. So compared to previous year 22 crores, it's a good number posted this quarter. So is there any capex plan is there? Like only in India 3 manufacturing units there? Okay.
No, definitely we have a capex plan, but that capex plan is not in terms of building more capacity. I think we have adequate capacity at least for the next 2 to 3 years. But but having said that, we are doing a spend of capex in terms of our product development and building a global tech center. We have allocated close to 100 crores only to develop the global tech center, which will also be equipped with a lab for electric tractors. So we have become suppliers to one of the leading electric company which is selling tractors in the US. That I have said we should be able to ramp up this year. Apart from that, we are working with at least 1 or 2 more players to get more into the electric tractor space, wherein we will develop the entire electric tractor for them and supply to them. So there is massive investment in terms of, comparatively from what we used to do, there is massive investment that will go into product development in the next 2 years.
Yeah. My next question is, so in the balance sheet, the liabilities are increasing, sir, and are you doing any investments?
No, liabilities have not increased towards any investment. It has increased towards working capital. That I explained to the previous caller, the certain business that came from the government in the month of March. The collections have come in April and May. So it is a temporary blip in terms of, but we will be maintaining our receivables at about 45 days.
Okay. Done, sir. Actually, are you tie up with any state government, like any partnership?
No, we don't have any partnerships per se, but we work very closely with all the state governments in terms of supporting the small and marginal farmers through the schemes that the state governments propose from time to time.
Yeah, like a few state governments announce discounts, right, sir? So, like.
Yeah, those state governments announce subsidies every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we participate in those subsidy schemes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Vandit Dharmashi from Alpha Invesco. Please go ahead.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Congratulations on great set of numbers, sir, and congratulations to Mr. Nitin as well for joining our company. I just have 2 quick questions. First, when we target 3,000 crores of revenue, say by FY26, how do we look at our leadership base moving ahead? For example, the tier 2 or tier 3 management, say after the CXO. If you can just talk about that, please, sir.
Yeah. So first things first. So now we are moving to an era of exponential growth. So we are definitely looking up more leadership across the company. At the senior level, Nitin has joined as a CFO, and there is also Mr. Pramod Rajan who has joined us as CTO, who has moved from Escorts Kubota and joined us. And there are a couple of players who have joined as leaders, and we are also looking at Tier 2 and Tier 3 leadership. One of the key steps the company has taken is to build a talent pool. This is the first year we have gone in for recruitment at graduate engineering trainee level. We are in the process of recruiting 40 engineers at GET level, which we want to groom them for the future.
Got it, sir. And sir, one more question is, we have seen recently that some of our competitors have started entering the lower horsepower segment with decent amount of offerings. So, would you want to talk about that, sir?
Yeah, so if you look at the lower horsepower segment, below 30 HP, it totally shows an industry of about 90,000, roughly around that. And if you see, out of that 90,000, it is split into 2. One is a 4-wheel drive compact tractors, which is a space that we occupy, which is about 55,000 industry. And some year it goes to 60, then it is around 55, 60. So this year also it has been the same. It has not grown considerably. And then there is the balance 35,000-40,000, which is utility less than 30 HP tractors, which is not necessarily a compact four-wheel drive tractor, it's a normal two-wheel drive tractor, which is less than 30 HP. So you see most of the players entering in the utility space, not in the compact four-wheel drive space. So, but if you see as a whole, that industrial segment below 30 HP has not grown much because the people prefer to buy niche products. I mean, this comes with specific applications, and the niche products basically that needs the purpose is the four-wheel drive compact tractors, which is used in grape farming, certain horticulture usages, applications for sprayers, wherein we have been fluctuating around 6,000 to 10,000 kind of volumes, depending on year to year. And if you see the major loss has not happened in market share as well. However, the growth is not coming as the industry itself has not grown. Second point is there was certain competition who came in and launched new products, but today I'm very happy to say that VST has all the models available, which is in comparison with any other player equally better or competitive.
Got it. Sir, if I may ask one last question, sir, can I?
Please.
Yeah, so just wanted to understand if you could give what could be the employee expense as a percentage to sales 3-4 years down the line. And second is, what kind of dealership number are we looking for small farm mechanization business and tractor business for by end of 24?
So, see, employee percentage to sales is definitely improved. I don't have the exact number with me right now, but I can say if you look at the employee cost, you can see in the results it has come down from around 13% to about 7.6 odd percent. So, and we are looking at around 7% this year. And this has happened, this entire growth from 540 odd crores to 1,006 crores has happened without much addition of manpower. That means the productivity or the sales per employee has definitely gone up. Now, coming to the channel partners, today we have about 355 tractor dealers net, and that out of that 71 dealers were added in the FY23, and in the small farm mechanization segment today we are at about 660 dealers, and about 171 dealers were added in FY23.
Yes, sir, I'm asking for FY24, sir. What kind of number can you look at? And employee cost?
We are looking at around adding, like I said, around 200 numbers. So it should be around anywhere between 175 to 200 numbers we will add again in FY24 in a small farm mechanization.
Okay. So my employee cost question was regarding FY25, sir. As you spoke about, we are adding a lot more leadership pool. So how do you think that number moves to? Will it still be 7% odd, or you think that should move up?
Which one? Exports. I didn't hear you properly, sorry.
Employee cost going ahead.
Mr. Vandit, may we request you to use the handset?
Employee cost.
Is it better now, sir? Is it better now?
Yeah, it is better now.
Yeah. So just wanted to understand going ahead, say by FY25-26, as we look to 3,000 crores of revenue, what kind of employee costs can we look at?
We should be around 6.5 to 7%.
Got it. Thank you so much, sir. I'll come back in the queue. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to all participants that you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Our next question is from the line of Varun Arora, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for the opportunity, sir. So, my first question on this revenue breakup, if you can give for Q4 FY23 on tiller and tractor and spare part revenue.
Okay. Tiller, spare part separately, revenue you want? I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
giving
For Q.
just a second.
Yes, sir.
You want the numbers or the revenue?
Sir, revenue, sir.
Revenue. So, no, give me the revenue. Just a second, yeah. Yeah. Just a second. So if you look at the revenue, small farm mechanization is about 590 crores, tractors is about 276 crores, distribution is about 101 crores.
100?
Distribution is at around 101 crores.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So my next question is on outlook for Q1 and full year of FY24 and 25 for the industry as well as for the company. How are you looking for, outlook? If you can give any color on that.
So all the commentaries I've heard in the industry is about a low single digit growth. However, that is an industry perspective because the industry is sitting on a lot of channel inventory, which we are not. So we work only on retails and we don't build channel inventory. So we are looking at aggressive growth again, like I said to the question earlier, that we are looking at growth about 20% this year as well.
Okay, sir. And how are we performing in this current month so far? I mean, till this time in April and till this date, how are you performing?
April was a bit slow. May looks to be better, and June should be even better because the season will pick up by then. And we expect to close strongly for Q1 compared to last Q1. However, having said that, there is this news about El Nino and no rains and all that, so fingers crossed.
Okay, sir. Sir, and if you can share your views on exports, how you're looking for this for the same.
Yeah, so in one of the calls I had said that we are unlikely to grow in exports in the last financial year, that is in FY23. But we saw that quite a good demand pickup that happened towards the second half of FY23, and I think that is continuing, and we will get to grow, in large numbers in the export market. And in the long term, we are entering the larger markets where the compact tractor segment is high, like the US market, where the less than 30 HP segment is much higher that is in India. So, which is into hobby farming in that particular segment. So we expect over the next 5 years, the growth to be very robust in the global market for us.
Okay, sir. So, on Monarch and Zetor, so has any one of these sectors started to contributing in our business in this quarter, or will they start in Q2 or maybe?
Not yet, but Q1 there is a contribution. There will be contribution from these products, especially the Monarch supplies. It is ramping up. That you will see in Q1.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So lastly, one more question, if I may ask to you on volumes again. Sorry, power tillers, tractors, power weeders, brush cutters. So if you can give for 4Q.
Yeah, volumes. Just a second. Yeah, volumes we shared already. It's around 38,247 tillers for power tillers. Tractors is around 6,875 in the last financial year. Power weeders, it's around 3,400. That's the kind of volumes, yeah.
So this is for FY23 full year we were talking, right?
FY23 full year, yes.
Can you give a Q4 sir number?
Q4 power tiller is 9282, tractor is 1575. So sorry, that is previous year. Power tiller is 12,813, tractor is 1963, power weeder is 1078.
1078. And brush cutter, sir?
Brush cutter is very small at around 300 numbers.
300 numbers. Okay, sir. Okay, sir, I'll follow back. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Money, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Sir, I had a question regarding subsidies. I wanted to know what percentage of the current selling price of tillers would be government subsidies. And if you can just break that down into central and state-related subsidies. That is question number one. And question number 2, again on subsidies, I wanted to know how it has changed in the last decade or so. Has they been stable or volatile in terms of the grants, subsidy grants by government? And also, if you can just work out the correlation of subsidies with farmer buying patterns and also in our tiller sales. So that correlation, if you can just share, that will also be helpful.
Yeah. So subsidy, it varies from state government to state government. While the support from the central government is a certain package which is given in horticulture, then SMAM, there are different schemes which the central government gives. But how it is executed is purely left to the state government. So there is no comparison or there is no similarity between state government to state government. Now, some state governments like Assam for certain schemes give subsidy up to 90%. Now, some other states like Karnataka or Gujarat or Tamil Nadu gives a specific amount varying from 40,000 to 60,000 on a tiller. So this is what the subsidy schemes are about. Now, what has changed in the last 5 years? Today, no customer waits for subsidy to come. They go ahead and buy the machine and they invariably apply for subsidy. And why this change has happened is because earlier the subsidy used to be routed through the dealers, wherein the customer would get the subsidy and only then take the delivery from the dealer. Now, since the benefit is directly given, that is the direct benefit transfer is there to the farmer, he is confident that whenever he gets, he will directly get into his account, and hence he is not waiting for procuring the power tiller from the dealer. So this is the trend change that has happened, because of which we have seen growth happening. Third part of your question, quantum of subsidy, is it volatile? If you see, the quantum has not changed. In fact, every year it is going down. What is happening is when they release, like for example, in FY22, the release happened October onwards. In FY23, the release happened in February and March. Hello?
Yes, sir. I was able to follow. Just a small follow-up on that. So what I was trying to understand is, if the quantum of subsidies by the government, because it's obviously determined by the government and their scheme, goes down, how does it directly correlate in terms of buying patterns for farmers, and that will also affect our sales? So I just wanted to look at the past.
In fact, my personal view has been since direct benefit transfer is there, it doesn't affect purchase pattern at all. Really speaking, because he is anyway going and buying when the need is there, and he is only putting in the application to get the subsidy because it is available. And whether he gets or not is not a deciding factor for him to buy anymore. So, but the key, if you see in small farm mechanization, is not subsidy anymore for its growth. It is availability, awareness, accessibility, affordability, and finally and the most important, if you ask me, is the ability. Ability means I'm not talking about buying ability. It is about usage ability. How conversant he is finding it easy to the machine or not. Use the machine. For example, some machines are very complicated. Some multinationals have introduced products which are very complicated. And for a small and marginal farmer, using that becomes very difficult. So, that from that perspective, whichever machine is easy to use and convenient for him to operate, where the fatigue is lower, that sale is increasing, and that is why our sale is also increasing. So the quantum of subsidies has not gone up.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So, sorry, one part of the question you skipped. I would like to understand what percentage, on an average, what percentage of the selling price is currently the subsidy amount? He might get it later. I understand the.
I don't know. I told you, it is a state government to state minister. Somewhere it is 40,000 rupees. Somewhere it is 50,000 rupees. Another state it is 60,000 rupees. In Assam, there is tribal scheme where 90% subsidy is given. So there is no guarantee. This business, if you ask me, is not influenced by subsidy.
Okay.
The only thing that happens with subsidy today is capital accrual will happen in the hands of the farmer, because he is getting a direct benefit transfer, and he might use it in very different ways than buying a power tiller, because he has already bought the power tiller.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thanks for your views.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Arjun Khanna from Kotak Mahindra Asset Management. Please go ahead.
So thank you for the follow-up. So I'm just referring to the release we had on 22nd March, where we talked about the power tiller industry growing from 60,000 to 100,000 by the year 2025. Just wanted to understand why should the power tiller industry suddenly just move up more than 50% over the next 2 years? Just wanted your thoughts on that, sir.
See, there are 10 crore families which are involved in farming in the small and marginal segment, which is less than 2 hectares of farms. So that is a major segment, and we have been able to grow our business from 19,000 to close to 38,000 plus in the last 3 years. We expect this our own growth to happen to, in a phenomenal manner in the next 3 years, which will drive the growth of the industry to 100,000.
Sure, because if I look at our numbers way back, say even FY14, almost 10 years back, we used to do 28,000 units, which is now 38,000 after almost 10 years. So just wanted to say
it used to be influenced by subsidy. You're not. I explained to the previous caller earlier. The benefit was given to the dealer, and the quantum of subsidy used to decide how many power tiller used to sell.
Sure.
Now that is not there anymore. It is direct benefit transfer. So the need is creating the purchase of the power tiller, and then every single farmer applies for subsidy. See, it is not that I am saying nobody is applying. Everybody, see, something is available, I will also apply, right?
Fair.
Similarly, every farmer is applying, but how many are getting? The quantum has not changed. It has not increased.
Sure.
Yeah.
And sir, just to understand, in terms of the other segments, for compact tractors, while there would be some form of subsidy, for utility tractors, is there subsidy with a Zetor brand? And for power weeders, is there subsidy?
Yeah, there is subsidy in power weeder, and there is subsidy in tractors also in states. Now, the Zetor brand we will launch, we will have to go through the process of enlisting for subsidy.
Sure. Fair enough. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from Devanshu Sampath from Avendus Wealth. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Good evening. A few questions. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sir. So, just to basically talk about, in your presentation, we can see, right, that obviously the distribution has been very strong in the south and not so much in the north. Now, earlier, for the north market, you pretty much said that we'll take a state-by-state approach and test the market and grow it slowly for the higher horsepower products, right? But now, if we look at since we have a different strategy of small farming mechanization products versus only selling tillers early, and then we have more into distribution and everything. So, can the north be a market we can tap for this SFM range, or is that something, because it seems that it could be a pretty large space that we can tap? So, your thoughts on this?
No, I agree with you totally. North is a untapped market for us. We are increasing. That is why we continue to grow our dealer network. SFM, that is a small farm mechanization business as we call it today, is mostly focused on the east, south, and the west. The north is a very big opportunity. So today we have about 660 dealers. I think in the next 2 to 3 years, our dealership network will be more than 1,000 dealers in the entire country. Much of it will be in the north.
Incrementally, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. And coming to, so just to touch upon this, as you mentioned also earlier that, the working capital that we were planning to keep the receivables a bit tight earlier, you said now that it seems that you've been compelled to, loosen it a bit and make it around 40-45 days. So what has changed? If you can just give your thoughts on that.
I'll tell you. See, 29 days when it happened in FY22, what happens is the institutional orders or some of the cash flow which used to come in, the subsidy release happened sometime in November, December. So what happens or December, January. So what happens is that entire money gets rotated and then it comes to our collection. So by March, all the collections have come in. And that is why the reflection of 29 days were there in FY22. However, what happened in FY24 is that bulk of whatever quantum of subsidy that released, by the way, the quantum has not changed, but bulk of what was released came in the month of after 15th of February. So because of which the rotation did not happen. That is why I explained to one of the previous callers, if you net it off, you will see that the receivables has not moved beyond 33 days. So, and that collection that was pending is coming in April and May. So I think I have fully explained this to you now.
Got it. Okay, so one question I have is around your tractor business, right? We did roughly around 7,000 this year. Can you share what was the export number for FY23?
Roughly around 1,400.
Okay, and incrementally, can you give a sense on what is it that we are looking at in terms of export and domestic? If we are looking at growth from here on, say, and if I'm not wrong, you mentioned that you're looking at tractor 20% growth only for the tractor business this year.
Yes.
Okay, so how are we looking at say the extra 1,500 tractors?
Mostly it will come from domestic, and the export also should maintain the growth rate. Export, we are entering into 2-3 more countries this year. One is UK, another one is Mexico. So we are looking at 2-3 countries as a focus for this year. That should get us the growth of that 20% plus that we are targeting.
Got it. And so last 2 questions. Any updates on the acquisition that you've been talking about for a while now? So.
No, we are looking at various opportunities. There are opportunities that are coming up. Some of them we have dropped. Some of them it is still in progress. Too early to say on that.
Okay. And any update on the Pubert France manufacturing business?
Pubert work is still going on. There are talks happening. Nothing concluded yet. Things are progressing.
So we've been talking about this for a while. So just can you give a sense on what exactly is that? The reason I'm asking because it can be a pretty large.
Yeah, it is a good opportunity. So we are working on it.
Sure. Okay, that's it from my side. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the last question for our question and answer session is from the line of Vandit Dharamshi from Alpha Invesco. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the follow-up, sir. I just wanted to understand what would be our R&D run rate or say new product development run rate over the next 2-3 years?
What exactly you mean by run rate? Number of products or the investment you're talking about?
Investment, sir.
Yeah, so investment I told you, it is upwards of 50 crores this year, and it will continue like that for some time for R&D and product development alone.
Okay. And sir, if you could just quantify what is the size of a Bangalore land parcel?
I don't have it's roughly around 20 acres.
Okay, sir. And sir, last time on the call you had mentioned that I think we are planning to enter the Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan market in north to begin with. So is there any progress or are we waiting for the launch?
No, we have launched a few dealerships as pilot, and we are nurturing them towards doing mega numbers when the VST Zetor products are launched.
Okay, sir. And if you could just quantify what would be the power tiller market as of year ending?
Roughly around 60,000. It should be around 55 to 60. The final figures are not out yet from all the manufacturers. Unlike TMA, there is no association, so that final figure has not come. It's roughly around between 55 to 60.
Okay, so that means we must have gained massive market share.
Yes, we have gained market share. We have to drive the growth in this industry, and that is what I have shared with all of you before as well.
Right. Okay, so thank you so much, sir. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That was the last question for our question and answer session today. I now hand the conference over to the management for closing remarks.
Thank you so much for your participation. Today it was short notice. Immediately after the board meeting, we had to upload the presentation. There was some delay. Apologies for that. Look forward to meeting all of you in the next quarter. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of Batliwala and Karani Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.